hungry man, they say, is an angry man. And Nigerian workers are demonstrating this in the face of economic hardship. Well, hundreds of protesters led by the Nigerian Labour Congress stormed the streets of major cities in the country over the biting economic situation. They called on the federal government to act quickly and save Nigerians from further suffering. And the President of the NLC, Ajaero, handed over their letter of demands to members of the National Assembly, which include full implementation of welfare provisions, employment generation, subsidy for farmers to boost agricultural production, and refining of repairing of 4 refineries, among others. PKO, you know, this issue has been long overdue. We've been having this issue, Nigerians protesting over the system. It's not the first time we'll have to protest over asking for the government to make the systems work. But now this protest is happening. What is the guarantee, first off, that this will yield any tangible result? Because this has been an age-long problem, if you ask me. From the challenges we're facing right now, it's not new.
Which one is an age-long problem?
You have refineries, you have the economy is not working, you have power supply, you have health systems, everything is still, it's still the same.
No, I do not agree that the economy is not working. In fact, we recorded growth in GDP in the last quarter. Yes, there are reforms that have been instituted by the government. Those reforms have come with pains. But there is some progress being made, especially in the oil sector. And it was reported by even some of the world's best-known media outlets, especially the growth in GDP that were recorded. Yes, people may point at those things as things that you can't really hold on to, but progress is progress. I'm confident that the refineries, one after another, will be fixed. Even the TUC president, who is an insider, has already said that because they visited the Port Harcourt refinery, and they said that by March, they are certain that the refinery will begin to work. So it's not like before when, the refineries, we will be told that the refineries will work and it will not work for years. We won't see signs. So much money has been committed to the refineries. We are seeing signs that the Port Harcourt refinery will work. And after Port Harcourt, Warri refinery, I don't know what they're going to do about Kaduna refinery. I don't know, because I'm not hearing anything about Kaduna refinery, but I know that there's a determination to get those refineries working. And I heard from the TUC president, it's not me saying it now, that by March, it will begin to work. That means that the efforts that they put into refurbishing the refineries, revamping the refineries have not been a waste. So what Labour wants is better welfare for its members. They are a pressure group. And I agree with them that where government fails to fulfill promises made to workers, they should be called out. I'm not going to sit here and say, no, you can't call out government. No, you will never hear me say that. It is the responsibility of government to cater for the welfare of the citizens. And in this case, it is the NLC leading the charge, speaking for Nigerians. That, this is what Nigerians are going through. This is what we want you to do. The NLC is saying, okay, let's energize agri-production. You have to then support farmers in various ways. If we do that, it will be one way by which we can boost agri-production. Everybody is talking now about agri-production, we had neglected agriculture for years. Now we are in a situation in which we can't feed ourselves. Whereas a country as big as China, I mean India, the largest country in the world by population currently, having overtaken China, they are still able to feed themselves. So what is wrong with us? And we are blessed with arable land everywhere. Mm-hmm. You go to the north, the land is extremely fertile. They may not have consistent rain as much as we have. But the north, most part of the north is very fertile. I can attest to that. So the issue of the welfare of the citizens must be taken seriously by government. You don't even need the NLC to prompt you to look in that direction, because that's the responsibility of government. I know that, yes, these reforms have come with pains, but I tell people that it's an inevitable pain. A country that is broke, that had even begun to borrow money to pay for subsidy, a country that was already spending about 97% of its earnings to service debt. Are we not in trouble? Or you want to deceive ourselves that, oh, we are buoyant? No, I will not join anybody who wants to get the message across that Nigeria is buoyant. Nigeria is so rich, yet you can't pay your bills. You are taking loans all over the place like a beggar. So we have issues that need to be addressed. And what Labour has done, and I'm very happy that these protests were peaceful. We've not heard that people were fired at anywhere. They conducted themselves peacefully, and they've come up with their recommendations. For example, when they suggested that VAT should be taken off diesel, that was a good suggestion on the part of Labour. I've criticized them in the past because of the way the NLC president used to talk. But we can all see that he no longer talks like that. He no longer talks like that. That is a fact. When he was talking like that, we challenged him. Now, look, there were Labour leaders before you. They were not talking. You will never hear Baba Sumonu, the greatest of them all. You will never hear him talk with fighting words. No. Leadership comes with a high sense of responsibility. So kudos to Ajaero, because he no longer talks like the way he used to talk around June, July. So I support protest that is peaceful.
Right.
Not the sort of protest that will target BRT buses and start setting them ablaze. No. We need to speak to our government. What can you do to ease the pains of our people? The conversation has gone beyond, oh, bring back subsidy. The conversation now is, how do we ease the pains of our people? And that's what, if we look at the recommendations, they are not making unreasonable demands. No. And that's why government needs to listen to them. If you said you are going to give me 35,000 naira wage award, and suddenly you stop giving me, I have every reason to go back to you and say, why? What happened along the line? Yeah. That's what they are doing. You know, if they can conduct themselves with decorum, nobody will say, why are they on the street? Today is gone on peacefully. Their message has been heard at the appropriate quarters. And I'm sure they'll be looking at those demands, those recommendations, because they are also partners in progress. They will be looking at those demands and asking themselves, okay, how do we meet these demands? What do we do? And even the TUC that refused to join the protest, they've not done anything wrong. As far as they are concerned, they were not carried along. So they chose to stay away. But many people were worried. They thought this would lead to bloodshed. This would lead to real bedlam, that there will be chaos in the land. But I'm happy. Look at them. Look, nobody is carrying any court girl, you know. Nobody is attacking anybody. They are just making their voices heard, and they've done it in a very responsible manner. And I commend the NLC for the way it's gone about this protest.
So, Olayinka, with that being said, when we see protests of this nature stemming from the residents' or citizens' demands from government, BKO, well, is hopeful that perhaps this administration will do the needful. But then again, some would question the sincerity of government to perhaps, give in to the requests of the residents, of the citizens rather, because we've seen how the spending have gone on in public quarters. We've seen how budget has been allocated. We've seen how things has been, handled, and even how, lawmakers are attached some benefits to themselves. So what would you say about the sincerity of government to address this issue?
I like the opening statement, the hungry man is an angry man, because there is a limit to which you can preach to a hungry man. Yoruba will say, a man that is hungry. And what we are seeing is every government comes in, there is that lingo that every one of them have used, from Obasanjo, Yaradua, Jonathan, Buhari, and now Tinubu, reform, reform, reform. We've had this severally. So, if Obasanjo talked of reform and we never saw the result, Yaradua talked of it, Jonathan talked about it, Buhari talked about it, how am I to believe Tinubu that reform? So it is left on the part of the government to show us as citizens that, okay, I'm different from all the others. This is the destination we are in, and this is the destination I intend to take you to. And from this destination, this is how far I've gone. So when we talk of reform, yes, it's a good thing we hear about it, but what are you reforming from the other reform that others have reformed? That's the question we must ask ourselves. Then, talking about the way the demonstration has gone, I honestly, before yesterday, I had my fears. When Labour issued a statement that we are going ahead, we are going to do the protest, police says, no, you... But yesterday, some people, maybe to gear up the Labour Union, some CSO came out and did their own, and everything was peaceful. Today now, the same thing has happened. Lagos, Abuja, everywhere, there has not been any story or any news about any fracas and all that. So, this is the way it should be. People have a right to say they are hungry, or people have a right to protest. What we will not support is that kind of protest that will lead to destruction of public property, like we had the last time. I mean, some of the properties that were destroyed, we are paying for it now. And that's the reason why things are going the way they are. So, the government on its part will do its own bit, and the citizens will also have a right not to believe. It is now there for the government to take actions that will make them to believe. Because we have been hearing of reform since 1999. So the government must in its own way show us that, look, my own reform, the Tinubu reform, is different from the Buhari reform, Jonathan, Obasanjo, and the rest of them. By their action and the way they do it. That is what people want. So that at the end of the day, we will know that, okay, we might be suffering now, but we know that we will enjoy later. But not a situation where we are asked to suffer and we will enjoy later. And at the end of the day, you find out that nothing has changed. That's the way I see it.
And let's hope something is done soon enough to alleviate the suffering of the people.